What's up, guys? This is Billy. Welcome back to Apex Alchemy. Today I want to do a short video before we head out to Blade Show. I got this knife in from Nick Edward Behind the Edge. It is the premium Ontario Rat Model 1 in S35VN. At the end of the video, or the last part of the video, I will be going into some of my misconceptions and belief systems that I have created for myself over the years with S35VN. And you can skip that part if you want to. The first part, it'll just be we're going to compare it to the original AUS-8 Rat and go over some of the, weights and stuff like that and the specs. Okay, so the Rat is essentially, it's available right now in three different steels. You can get the AUS-8 model, the D2 model, which I don't own, and the S35VN. I've always heard that Ontario does their AUS-8 better than the D2. That doesn't surprise me. A lot of companies do heat treat stainless steel better than they do tool steel. Even though D2 is supposed to be one of the easiest steels to heat treat, it's almost impossible to screw it up. It's one of the only steels that you can go back and actually reheat treat it if you don't get it right the first time. I got that information by talking to a couple of knife makers, but I don't know because I've never heat treated a steel. That's not personal opinion or personal experience. That's hearsay from people who make good knives. But regardless, I don't have any experience with the D2 Rat. I believe my brother has one. I'm not sure what steel he got his in. But if he does have a D2, we may run some tests. That way we'll have all three of them. I may just pick one up and be able to run some tests, make a video about that, just to see what's going on with edge retention and stuff like that. But this Red Rat was released earlier this year, and it's a Model 1, like any other Model 1, but it's S35VN. It's got G10 scales. Let's do a weight comparison. I was hoping, personally, that one second, I'm sorry. Okay, we're good. I was hoping, personally, that the liners would be titanium or something like that, being at the $99 point. I guess we're not all going to be Tucson, though, right? So the original Rat weighs in at 4.9 ounces. And let's look at the S35VN one. The only difference is the steel type. It says 5.3 ounces. So you got the G10 scales. You may have a little bit thicker stuff going on. Where's my calipers when I need them? There they are. Let's check that out. Let's check out. What is that? Is that a hair? Is that dog hair? Or Courtney hair? On the calipers, okay. So that's coming in at 0.51 inches, so just a little bit over a half an inch. Make sure that's zeroed out, yeah, okay. And then the AUS-8 model is coming in. I mean, it's still just a little bit over a half an inch, but it's a little narrower, so the G10 scales may be a little thicker than the FRN scales. How they feel in hand? The original is more slick. It doesn't offer as much grip. I've never had a complaint about the amount of grip that I had in the Rat, but this one does offer more. It's got not a really aggressive G10, but it does offer more traction. And so it's a little sturdier in hand. The blade grind on the S35VN does, it's not stone washed. It's not satin, but it's not stone washed. So you can see the machine line. Sorry, I got a fingerprint there. But like you can see the stone wash on the AUS-8. I probably actually prefer that more myself. It doesn't matter. I don't care. But like a good stone wash, it's just kind of classic. The pocket clip is a little different on this model. It's the same. I think they're interchangeable, but like you got the 1889 logo where you just have the Ontario logo here. My Ontario rat number one doesn't say, it doesn't display the Randall's Adventure Training logo. I'm not sure why. I have no idea why. Like some of them do, some of them don't. Mine doesn't. But this is okay. So this knife has served me well. I haven't used this knife. I just got it in. So like I've not used the S35VN nor carried it yet. So like I don't want to get into all the, this is going to be awesome for this and that, and it'll be better than this, because I don't know yet. I'm assuming it will be. See, I guess I can go ahead and get into my S35VN still. All right, so I was kind of programmed to hate S35VN years ago. And the reason why, I believe, is because of some of the forums that I was a part of when S35VN took flight. And I'm not talking about when it was invented. It's been out for years. But when it started becoming a mainstream knife still that we were seeing more often, there was a general conception that it would be an upgrade from S30V. And in some ways, it may be. I think it's definitely tougher than S30V. The edge retention is supposed to be like right on par with it, but we were looking at the steel wrong, and I didn't really realize this until I had a pretty in-depth conversation about S35VN with Greg Ashcroft from PTST Blade Works. Now, S35VN actually happens to be his favorite steel, and we talked on the phone for a while, probably about an hour, just about the steel in general. And he asked me, he said, because I made the comment to him that, or he heard in a video about S35VN not being one of my favorite steels, and he was like, "You know what I think's funny?" And I said, "What's that?" And he was like, "Man," he said, like, no offense or anything, but like a lot of the knives that you talk about loving, like that perform great, they're in S35VN, but you don't like the steel." And I was like, yeah, how can I argue that? I've sang praises to the AD15. It's an S35VN. Also, Courtney's, I'm sure she's got it with her, but Courtney's Todd Begg premium Steelcraft model, now that the budget Steelcraft model's out, or I guess it's a Begg knives. It's not really a Steelcraft, I guess. But, that knife has been superb, and it's an S35VN. And he was talking to me about, it being one of his favorite steels. The heat treat process. He was like, you're kind of looking at it wrong. Like S35VN was supposed to be an upgrade from CPM 154, in which he had heard me sing praises. I'm doing a little bit of digging. I mean, he's right. It's my fault. I never took the time to dig out that information. It really, he's right. Like a S35VN outperforms CPM 154 in every category. It's tougher. It's, the edge retention is greater. It's more stainless. And, it's also very much harder to sharpen, but I can't use that as an excuse not to like the knife, because everything's hard to sharpen for me, especially free-handed. Like I'm just now beginning that journey. So in a fixed system, like a fixed edge system, like I might be able to get away with sharpening anything with new stones or stones that are in good condition. Like my work sharp, I started off sharpening knives great with that thing, the precision adjust, and after about 10 knives, I noticed that I thought I was just, maybe I'm just getting content, with sharpening the knives, and I'm relaxing, and I'm doing something wrong, but like no, it come, like those stones just didn't last long, and that may have been my fault, I may have been putting too much pressure on them. But like the reason why I wasn't getting an edge off of the fixed edge system anymore is because those stones didn't last long, and like I said, could have very well been my fault. So I'm not trying to beat up Work Sharp, but that's the problem. So like now, if I've got got the choice between buying more stones for the workshop or learning how to freehand. And learning how to freehand is something I've wanted to do since I was a child. You know, like I've tried a few times, you know, just with regular Arkansas stones and stuff like that. But it's time for me to invest in that talent. Okay, man, the video's already at 10 minutes, and I don't feel like I've shut up, but I don't really feel like I've said enough. I'm excited to give this knife a run. If these scales will fit on this knife, what, you know, like, and everything, like, I don't want to. I want to use these scales on this frame. I think if they'll fit, then that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm not crazy about the red. I am optimistic about the fact that they chose to upgrade their steel, and I do feel like that may open doors for, you know, them to consider. If this knife sells well, it could open doors for them to consider other premium steels in the future, like with different color scales or something like that. And the Rat is a great knife. You know, it's hard to, you know, it's hard to beat up a Rat. You know, like I love the pinch grip that you can get with the Rat. You know, like as far as like the precision work and stuff, I rarely ever even hold it by the handle. You know, personally, you know, like the balance is great to the point where, you know, like you can do a good pinch grip and not have to really worry about. I'm like, you know, you can pull your fingers in for support if you want to, but like it's not really necessary. It's kind of like that PM2, which I got it out of the floor. But you know, a lot of people have problems with where the thumb ramp is. But if you're not full choking, then the thumb ramp's really not that big of an issue. You know, like you got way more control. So the Rat is very familiar to me in hand because of the PM2 probably. It was a knife that I did get into late. You know, like it was last year or maybe earlier this year. It was either early this year or late last year that I picked up my first one. And I'm glad I did. I didn't gravitate toward it immediately because it was on everybody's channel. Like everybody had one. It don't look special. You know, it's one of those like what Nick would call a evergreen knife. You know, it's just a mass appeal knife. But I'm really glad I got one. I've used this one a lot outdoors. And you know, I'll sing its edges praises. You know, for AUS 8, it's heat treated well. It's done well. You know, it's got to be because it lasted. You know, like just, you know, feather sticking, a little bit of baton in, you know, stuff like that. Just see what the knife was made out of, and it did it. And I'm gonna try to start getting a little bit more of that on video. Like I know we'll take knives out in the woods and we'll play with them, and we rarely ever get anything on video because I can't coordinate. We need tripods for outdoors and stuff like that. But I think it'd be cool to capture some of that stuff instead of me just sitting here talking about it. I could actually, you know, back it up. But as far as the Red Rat, and that's what they're calling it, the Red Rat one, I'm excited. I'm excited about it, man. You know, like it feels great in hand, just like, I mean, it feels very familiar. It doesn't feel much different. You just get a little bit more grip. The weight is minutely different. So, like, you know, I cannot tell the difference. I wouldn't have expected there to be any difference at all. But I am excited. I'm excited about checking it out. And a review will come in the future. This is like just a unboxing and first impressions. And it's 14 minutes. Way too long. So thank you. Consider subscribing, like the video, leave your comments below, add any additional information as always, and we'll catch you on the flip side.